Marcus Hersh for the Daily Racing Forum, coming to you via video from Dubai, United Arab Emirates, here to cover the Dubai World Cup and its attendant races, one of which is the Group 1, $2 million Golden Shaheen at 1,200 meters, about 6 furlongs under. Um, a race that really historically has favored Americans, and one of my favorite Americans, Daily Racing Form Steve Andersen, is here to parse out the form for us in this dirt dash. And Steve, you've a great familiarity with the heavy favorite to win this race, the Southern California-based Roy H. What can you tell us about Roy H., a champion?
Well, after a very good Breeders' Cup Sprint where he was a 9-2 winner, and then he's won his last three all in grade 1, grade 2 races. He certainly had nothing more than a trial race in the grade 2 Palos Verdes Stakes at Santa Anita on February 3rd, going 6 furlongs. A perfect trip in a 4-horse field, closed from last, take a comfortable lead, an early stretch with a wide move, and won as jockey DeSormo pleased by 3.5 lengths with little or no urging in the last furlong or so. So it was really a true trial race. And it was, it's been a while now. Feb 3rd, 7 weeks since he's more than 7 weeks since he ran in that race. But his build-up has been what they expected. There were some conversations about giving him a race in the Grade 1 Triple Bend Stakes at Santa Anita on 7 furlongs, but it never got that far. He was actually entered for a few moments that morning, and the entry was pulled. And he was always going to try to go to Dubai for the big Golden Shaheen. So in that regard, this has been something they've been planning for quite some time. And the preparation's gone well in regards to his prep race. He's had his works at Santa Anita in the last few weeks before departure. So now it's time to prove whether he can take this outstanding USA form and take it into the international stage as well.
Yeah, he is formidable, and he has run so many good races in a row. He shouldn't have lost during this string of top performances for him. He was hampered by another horse and finished second in a race where he was best. I mean, and he really emerged in the True North at Belmont last year on the Belmont Stakes undercard. So we know he can travel. He supposedly has traveled well here. He had a 3 furlong breeze on yesterday. Looked very comfortable under Kent DeSormo. Seems to have shipped well. It's a horse that I hold dear to my heart because pari-mutually he's treated me very well. I got on the bandwagon early in the race at Belmont when he had not yet proven himself at this level, and then he was a pretty nice price as well in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. He's America's leading sprinter right now, and when you're America's leading sprinter and you've shipped well, you're going to be tough to beat in the Golden Shaheen. A horse who's been here already, XY Jet, who was second, surprisingly beaten, I thought, in 2016 as the heavy favorite got caught late. He was not at his best. He went back home and had surgery to take bone chips out of a knee joint shortly thereafter. In fact, he has had 3 knee surgeries in his career. He was off for 13 months, came back in December, and has really been in sparkling form. He's the speed of the race, probably drawn down in 2. I know that trainer Jorge Navarro has no doubt at all that his horse is going to be on the lead. Can he stay there, Steve?
I think he can, but he'll be out there and he'll do it. But I do think he might set it up for yet another American runner, the slightly overlooked Mind Your Biscuits, who won this race in 2017. That was his last big race win. He's been back. Of course, he won the Grade 2 Belmont Sprint back in July, so don't take that away from him either. That was his first race after Dubai. He has lost his last 4. Including a second in an optional claimer at Gulfstream on Feb 9. He ran very well to be third behind Roy H. in the Breeders' Cup Sprint, and second, well-beaten second to Sharp Azteca, another very nice runner in the Cigar Mile back in Aqueduct in late fall. So, there's been some good performances without wins from Mind Your Biscuits, who drew the rail in this field. It's a slight concern. That's not necessarily the place you want to be if you're going to be in a 6-furlong sprint. There's not much margin for error. You need to be tactical. I do like the presence of Joel Rosario. If there's someone along who you can rely upon to make those key decisions as a race unfolds, I think Rosario might be the guy. And in conclusion on Mind Your Biscuits, please remember that he won the Grade 1 Malibu Stakes going 7 furlongs at Santa Anita in late 2016 from a rail draw as well. So now, granted, this is 6 furlongs, so it's a little shorter. And Mind Your Biscuits arguably may be just as good at 7 as at 6. can't take away the intangible of a course and distance win in this race last year. And I do think that he has every opportunity to repeat that in this field, even though he goes up against the #1 USA sprinter in Roy H.
Yeah. He, just to play, just to offer a slight. I mean, the thing that the course and distance thing is, he did probably benefit from the rain that came that turned the track favorable to closers, and I am a little concerned that if speed is carrying well, he could be disadvantaged. I know trainer Chad Summers was not happy at all with drawing the one. He overcame post 14 to win last year, which probably was a greater challenge than having the rail. But the problem with the one with a horse like this is, you can't just fall out the back door because you'll get shuffled back and then have to negotiate, weave through traffic. And so you have to be asked a bit to get in front of the horses that are the mid-pack stalkers. You don't want them to cross over on you and take your position away. And that's maybe not ideal for this horse. I'm just not quite convinced either that he's the same animal that he was last year. The trainer thinks he is, and so who am I to say? I know you talked about being 7/8 maybe being equally good for this horse. I definitely think that, maybe even a mile, and he's being aimed at the Metropolitan Handicap on the Belmont undercard. Let's see. We have gone through the major players. There, you get a drop off after this. The winner of the local prep was Jordan Sport, who went to the front and showed a ton of pace that day. I just don't know if he's going to have the sort of speed of an XY Jet, and he's also drawn outside. If he is intent on making the lead, and pushes the pace, that could really set it up for a horse like Mind Your Biscuits. But Roy H, I think, is perfectly comfortable from the stalking role as well. He can be very relaxed under DeSormo, at least. He should be outside in the clear. He'll get first run on Mind Your Biscuits, I'd imagine. And just having more adaptability, and in my opinion, he's maybe just a better horse right now. I'm going to eat the chalk in the Shaheen with Roy H. Steve, you're sticking with the Biscuits, huh?
I am, but I have full respect for Roy H. You're looking at about an even money 6-5 chance, I think, roughly speaking, with Roy H. I think the public's going to really back that horse down to a short price. And if Mind Your Biscuits runs his race, I think he can beat Roy H. But also equally, I may just be looking at an exacta with Roy H. And they may just have to settle for that, because Mind Your Biscuits, as you said, with the draw, even with his ability, even with the course and distance win, that just may be as good as he can do on Saturday.
Yeah. And it will be satisfying to me, even if Roy H is the betting favorite, to see him run another big race. He's just been a fabulous horse. And we'll see what he can do now on the other side of the world, Saturday in the Golden Shaheen.